The sound of their laughter cuts through the elegant hotel lobby like shattered glass. I stand frozen behind a marble pillar, my designer handbag suddenly feeling like a lead weight against my arm. My husband's voice rises above the others, carried on a wave of conspiratorial mirth. Mom's right. It's better this way. Brielle would just make everything complicated. I press my palm against the cool marble, steadying myself. My name is Brielle, and I've just discovered I'm not invited to my own family's vacation. The vacation I'm paying for. The Louis Vuitton suitcase I'd packed sits abandoned in my car, filled with carefully chosen outfits and thoughtful gifts for everyone, including my nephew Nate's favorite comic books. What a fool I've been. She's always trying so hard. Lindsay, my sister-in-law, chimes in. It's exhausting watching her attempt to fit in. My mother-in-law Marilyn's response is swift and cutting. Well, dear, new money always shows. Though I must say, her generosity has its uses. They laugh again, the sound echoing off the vaulted ceiling. I watch them through the reflecting pool of the fountain, their images rippling and distorting. Ryan, my husband of 3 years, stands slightly apart from the group, hands in his pockets. He doesn't defend me. He never does. Did you tell her you had a work emergency? Marilyn asks. Yeah, Ryan replies, scratching the back of his neck. His tell when he's lying. She bought it. Said she'd wire the money for the rooms today. My fingers move to my phone, muscle memory already pulling up the banking app. Then I stop. The realization hits me like a physical blow. I've been doing this for years, supporting them, funding their lifestyle, desperately trying to buy my way into a family that sees me as nothing more than an ATM with an unfortunate personality. Excuse me, madam? A hotel staff member approaches me. Can I help you with anything? I straighten up, forcing a smile. Yes, actually. I need to speak with your manager about some reservation changes. The staff member nods, gesturing toward the front desk. As I walk past my husband and his family, none of them notice me. They're too busy planning their week of luxury on my dime. At the desk, I meet the manager's eyes. The Carter party reservations? I need to make some adjustments. Of course, Mrs. Carter. What can I do for you? I'd like to move my reservation to the presidential suite. I pause, letting the weight of my next words settle. And I need to cancel the other rooms immediately. The manager's fingers hover over the keyboard. All 5 rooms? Yes. And please ensure my name is flagged as the only authorized payment source for any charges to those rooms. As I complete the changes, I hear Marilyn's voice rising in indignation at the other end of the lobby. The front desk must have notified them already. I don't turn around. Will you be checking in now, Mrs. Carter? I shake my head, picking up my new key card. No, I'll return this evening. But first, I have some shopping to do. My voice sounds strange to my own ears, calmer than I feel, with an edge I've never heard before. Walking out of the hotel, I hear Ryan calling my name. I don't stop. The summer air hits my face, and for the first time in years, I feel like I can breathe. My phone buzzes continuously in my bag. Ryan, Marilyn, Lindsay, all demanding explanations. I slide into my car and finally check one message. It's from Nate. Aunt Brielle, where are you? I missed you. My throat tightens. I type back. I'll see you soon, buddy, I promise. Then I block everyone else's numbers and pull away from the curb. They wanted a vacation without me? Fine. Let's see how they enjoy it without my money instead. I spend 3 hours driving aimlessly before pulling into Oliver's driveway. He takes one look at my face and wordlessly leads me to his back porch, returning with 2 glasses of whiskey. The ice cubes clink against the crystal as my hands shake. They planned it for weeks, I say, staring at the manicured lawn. Weeks of lying to my face, laughing behind my back, and I just kept writing checks. Oliver leans back in his chair, his silence more comforting than any platitudes. We've known each other since we were kids in foster care. He understands the weight of chosen family. My phone lights up again, Ryan's 20th call. This time, he leaves a voicemail. I put it on speaker. Bree, baby, please. Mom's hysterical. The hotel's threatening to call security. Just, just talk to me. We can fix this. Oliver snorts. Funny how fixing this only matters when the money stops flowing. Before I can respond, my phone chimes with a text from Lindsay. How dare you embarrass us like this, after everything we've done for you? Everything they've done for me? My laugh sounds hollow. Last month, I paid for Nate's entire private school tuition. Last week, I covered Marilyn's emergency roof repair. Yesterday, I bought Lindsay's husband a new golf set because she said he was depressed. And Ryan? Ryan? I take a long sip of whiskey. Ryan hasn't held a job longer than 6 months since we got married. Says he's finding himself. Meanwhile, I'm running my company, managing their lives, and apparently funding vacations I'm not good enough to attend. My phone buzzes again. This time it's Marilyn. I've never been so humiliated. Is this how you repay family? Family, I whisper, the word bitter on my tongue. You know what Marilyn told me when Ryan proposed? She said I was lucky they were willing to overlook my unfortunate background. That money couldn't buy class, but at least it could buy acceptance. Oliver's expression darkens. And you stayed? I press my palms against my eyes. I thought if I tried hard enough, gave enough, they'd eventually see me. Really see me. God, I'm such an idiot. You're not an idiot. You're someone who lost her parents too young and wanted a family. They're the ones who took advantage of that. A new message appears, from Nate's phone, but clearly typed by Lindsay. Nate's crying because of you. Hope you're happy. Something snaps inside me. I stand up, pacing the porch. 3 years. 3 years of bending over backward, of smiling through their snide comments, of watching Ryan choose them over me every single time. And for what? To be their dirty little secret? Their personal ATM? So what are you going to do about it? I stop pacing, my mind suddenly clear. First, I'm calling my lawyer, then my accountant. I need to know exactly how much of my money they've burned through. And Ryan? Ryan made his choice in that hotel lobby. I drain my glass. Now I'm making mine. Oliver studies me for a moment. You know they'll try to paint you as the villain, the cold-hearted rich woman who abandoned her loving family. Let them try. I pull out my phone and start typing. I've kept every receipt, every text message begging for money, every email about their latest emergency. 3 years of documentation showing exactly how loving they've been. A car pulls into Oliver's driveway, Ryan's BMW. The one I bought him for his birthday. How did he find me? Probably tracked your phone, Oliver says, standing. Want me to tell him to leave? I watch Ryan step out of the car, his familiar nervous gesture of running his hand through his hair. For a moment, I see the man I fell in love with. Then I remember his laughter in the hotel lobby. No, I say, straightening my spine. I think it's time I stopped letting other people fight my battles. Want me to stay? Yes. I squeeze his hand. But let me handle this. Ryan approaches the porch, his face a mask of practiced concern. Bree, baby, you're not thinking clearly. I cut him off. Actually, Ryan, for the first time in 3 years, I'm thinking very clearly. Now, would you like to explain why you lied about the vacation? Or should we start with how much money you've borrowed from my company account? His face goes pale. Checkmate. The numbers on my laptop screen blur together as I scroll through years of bank statements. Each transaction tells a story, not of family bonds, but of calculated exploitation. My accountant's email sits open in another tab, its contents still making my stomach churn. Did you know? I ask Ryan, who sits across my home office, his head in his hands. About your mother's gambling? He doesn't answer. The silence stretches between us like a chasm. $40,000, Ryan. That's how much she's lost at Riverbend Casino in the past year alone, using the credit card I gave her for emergencies. She said it was for medical bills, he mumbles. I laugh, the sound sharp enough to make him flinch. And the $20,000 she transferred to Lindsay's account last month? Was that for medical bills too? Lindsay's marriage? is falling apart because her husband lost their savings on bad investments. I know, she told me. What she didn't tell me was that she's been funneling my money into his latest scheme. My phone buzzes. A text from Marilyn. We need to talk about this misunderstanding, dear. Over lunch at LeBlanc tomorrow? LeBlanc. The same restaurant where she'd introduced me to her country club friends as Ryan's wife. You know, the one with the tech money. Where she'd later cornered me about investing in her friend's son's startup. You don't understand, Ryan starts. Mom's always. Always what? Always manipulated people? Always used others to maintain her illusion of wealth? I stand up, pacing. Did you know she told her friends that she bought me my company as a wedding gift? That she's my silent partner? Ryan's head snaps up. She wouldn't. Check your phone. I'm sure someone's already forwarded you the country club newsletter. There's a lovely article about the generous Marilyn Carter mentoring her daughter-in-law in business. He pulls out his phone, his face draining of color as he reads. I'll talk to her. Make her retract it. Like you talked to her about the vacation? Or about using my company's credit line for her shopping sprees? I stop pacing, facing him directly. When exactly do you plan to start standing up to her, Ryan? A knock at the door interrupts us. Through the glass panel, I see Lindsay, her mascara streaked with tears. Perfect timing, as always. Don't, Ryan warns as I move to open the door. But I do anyway. Lindsay bursts in, waving her phone. The bank froze our accounts. How could you do this to us? I froze the accounts I was paying for, I correct her. Your personal accounts are your business. Nate's tuition payment is due next week. Funny you should mention that. I turn back to my laptop, pulling up another document. I was just reviewing the wire transfers. Did you know your mother's been redirecting Nate's tuition money to her personal account? The school hasn't received a payment in months. The silence that follows is deafening. Lindsay sinks into a chair, her face ashen. Ryan stands so abruptly, his chair topples backward. That's impossible, he whispers. Mom wouldn't. The same mom who's been telling everyone she owns my company? The same mom who's been losing thousands at casinos while crying about medical bills? I turn the laptop around. Look at the transfers yourself. As they lean in to read, my phone buzzes again. This time it's Oliver. Documents you requested are ready. Want me to send them to your lawyer? I type back a quick yes, just as Lindsay lets out a choked sob. What are we going to do? She asks, her voice small. We, I echo. There is no we anymore. You made that clear at the hotel. But Nate. I'll pay Nate's tuition directly to the school, I cut in. He shouldn't suffer for the adult's mistakes, but everything else stops now. Ryan reaches for my hand. I step back. Bree, please, we can fix this. As a family. I look at him, really look at him, and feel nothing but tired. That's the problem, Ryan. We were never really a family. I was just the bank account you all married into. My phone buzzes one final time. Marilyn again. Don't make me tell people the truth about where you really came from, dear. Family protects family. I show the message to Ryan and Lindsay. Their faces tell me everything I need to know about whose side they'll choose. Get out, I say quietly, both of you, and tell your mother that if she wants to play with truth, I have 3 years of receipts ready for show and tell. My mother's embroidery hoop sits in my lap, threads tangled like the mess of my life. The familiar weight of it grounds me as I sit in my home office, surrounded by financial documents and divorce papers. 3 weeks have passed since the hotel incident, and the threads of my marriage continue to unravel. A knock at the door makes me jump. Through the window, I see Nate shifting from foot to foot on my porch, his backpack clutched to his chest. I open the door. Shouldn't you be in school? Mom and Dad are fighting again. His voice is small. Grandma's there too. They're all yelling about money and it's scary. My heart twists. I usher him inside, noting how his shoulders relax once he's in my kitchen. While I make hot chocolate, he pulls out his homework, falling into our old routine as if nothing has changed. Aunt Brielle? He doesn't look up from his math worksheet. Are you really not coming to my baseball game tomorrow? The mug nearly slips from my hand. Who told you that? Grandma! She said you don't want to be part of our family anymore. I set the hot chocolate down harder than necessary. Before I can respond, my phone lights up with a text from Oliver. Check your email, now. 1 second, buddy, I tell Nate, stepping into the hallway to read the email. My blood runs cold. Oliver's team has uncovered a second mortgage on my house, taken out 6 months ago with forged signatures. The money trail leads straight to Marilyn's personal account. Another text from Oliver. Police want to know if you're pressing charges. My hands shake as I type back. Give me an hour. When I return to the kitchen, Nate is staring at my mother's embroidery hoop. This is pretty. Can you teach me? Of course. I sit beside him, grateful for the distraction. My mom taught me when I was your age. Said it helped her think clearly when life got messy. Like now? Yeah, like now. I guide his hands through a simple stitch. Sometimes people make bad choices when they're scared or desperate. Like Grandma? I freeze. What do you mean? He concentrates on the thread, not meeting my eyes. I heard her telling Mom that if you went to the police, she'd tell everyone about the orphanage, that it would ruin your business. The doorbell rings before I can process this. Through the window, I see Lindsay's car in my driveway. Nate! She calls out. Get out here right now! He clutches the embroidery hoop. Please don't make me go. Nathan Carter! Lindsay pounds on the door. Mom's worried sick. How dare you run away like this? I open the door but block the entrance. He didn't run away. He came to the one place he feels safe. Safe? Lindsay's laugh is brittle. You destroyed our family and you dare talk about safety? I discovered the fraud, Lindsay. The second mortgage. The forged documents. I watch her face pale. Did you know about that too? Mom said it was temporary, just until Dad's investments paid off. Stop! I hold up my hand. Just stop! I'm done with the lies. I turn to Nate, who's watching us with wide eyes. Buddy, you should go with your mom now. He hands me the embroidery hoop reluctantly. Will I still see you? Of course you will, Lindsay cuts in. Once she realizes how childish she's being. No, I interrupt. I'll be at your game tomorrow, Nate. Front row. And after that, we'll figure something out. I promise. After they leave, I pick up my phone and dial Oliver's number. You okay? He asks. They're using Nate as a pawn. I trace my mother's stitches with my finger. And now Marilyn's threatening to expose my background if I go to the police. She's bluffing. Your company's success has nothing to do with where you came from. Maybe not. I take a deep breath. But I need to end this my way. What are you thinking? I look at the embroidery hoop, at the intricate pattern my mother created one stitch at a time. I'm thinking it's time to stop trying to protect people who never tried to protect me. And Nate? I'll protect him by showing him that actions have consequences, even family's actions. I pause. Send the evidence to the police, all of it. You sure? Yes. I pick up my needle. It's time to finish this pattern. The police statement sits unsigned on my desk when Ryan shows up at my door, clutching a bouquet of roses and wearing his most apologetic smile. Happy birthday, baby. Let me take you to dinner. I almost laugh at the absurdity. My 33rd birthday, and he remembers it only after his mother's arrest makes the local news. The roses are nice, I say, not opening the door fully. Did your mother pay for them with my credit card too? His smile falters. Bree, please. Mom's lawyer says if you drop the charges. Stop. I hold up my hand. Just stop. It's your birthday. Let me make this right. He pulls out a hotel reservation confirmation. I booked us the presidential suite at the Grand. Just us this time. No family drama. The same hotel where this all started. My phone buzzes. Another message from Marilyn's lawyer, no doubt trying to negotiate. I've received 15 calls today, alone. Come on, Ryan pleads. Remember our first anniversary there? How perfect it was. I do remember. I also remember finding out later that he'd invited his mother to join us for dinner that night, and I'd only avoided that surprise because she'd had a last-minute spa appointment, paid for with my card, of course. Your mother's facing fraud charges, Ryan. Real ones. With real consequences. She made a mistake. We all did. But we're family. Family? I pull out my phone, scrolling through messages. Like when Lindsay told the country club I was investigated for embezzlement? Or when your mother tried to convince my board of directors that I was mentally unstable? They're scared. You've taken everything. I took back what was mine. My voice doesn't shake anymore when I say this. There's a difference. He steps closer, his cologne familiar and dangerous. One dinner. Let me explain everything. Before I can respond, a car pulls into my driveway. Oliver's. He steps out, holding a manila envelope, his face grim. Perfect timing, I say, stepping back from Ryan. Come in, Oliver. Ryan's expression darkens. Him? Really? On our birthday dinner night? Your mother's birthday gift arrived early, Oliver says, handing me the envelope. Thought you should see it right away. Inside are screenshots from a private investigator. Photos of my childhood foster homes, medical records, court documents about my parents' death. All annotated in Marilyn's elegant handwriting. Too traumatized for business leadership. History of family instability. Potential PR nightmare. She was going to send these to your shareholders next week, Oliver explains, along with some creative interpretations of your company's financials. Ryan grabs the papers. She wouldn't. She was just protecting herself. From what? I ask quietly. From the orphan who gave her everything she asked for? Who funded her lifestyle? Who tried so desperately to be the daughter she wanted? If you'd just drop the charges. Get out! The words come easily now. Both of you. Oliver raises an eyebrow, but nods, understanding. As he leaves, Ryan makes one last attempt. The hotel reservation, our anniversary suite, is as empty as every promise you've ever made. I hand him back the roses. Give these to your mother. I'm sure she'll appreciate the gesture, especially since she probably paid for them. Bree! I signed the divorce papers this morning. I step back inside. Happy birthday to me. I close the door on his protests and lean against it, listening to his footsteps fade. My phone buzzes again, a text from Nate. Happy birthday, Aunt Brielle. Mom says I can't come over, but I made you something in art class. Attached is a photo of a crayon drawing. Me, teaching him embroidery. Both of us smiling. In wobbly letters across the top, real family. I look at my mother's embroidery hoop, then at Marilyn's annotated investigation photos. 3 years of trying to buy love, of attempting to stitch together a family that was already rotted at the seams. I pick up the unsigned police statement. There's a certain poetry to it. Marilyn trying to use my past against me, not realizing that surviving that past is what finally gives me the strength to do this. I sign my name with steady hands. Some patterns I've learned aren't worth completing. The Grand Hotel's presidential suite feels like a mausoleum. I stand at the window, watching the sunset paint the city gold, while my phone lights up with messages from Ryan's lawyer. Apparently, pressing charges against your mother-in-law is unnecessarily vindictive. A knock at the door makes me jump. Room service wheels in my solitary birthday dinner, the same meal I'd planned to share with the family weeks ago. The waiter's pitying smile tells me he remembers me from that day. Will anyone be joining you, Mrs. Carter? No. I gesture to the empty room. Just me. My phone buzzes again. This time it's Lindsay. Mom's being processed for booking. I hope you're happy. Nate keeps asking why his grandmother is in jail. I block her number, but not before seeing the attached photo. Marilyn in handcuffs, looking small and broken. Nothing like the imperious woman who once told me I'd never truly belong in their world. The champagne tastes like ash in my mouth. Across the room, my reflection fragments in the mirrored walls. Dozens of Brielles, all alone on their birthday. The victory feels hollow. Another knock. This time it's Oliver, his expression grim. You shouldn't be alone tonight, he says, stepping inside. I'm fine. Really? Because the hotel staff said you booked this suite for a week. Planning to hide up here? Before I can answer, my phone rings. An unknown number. Oliver grabs it before I can decline. Hello? His face darkens. She doesn't want to. Hold on. He puts it on speaker. Nate's voice fills the room. Aunt Brielle, are you there? My throat tightens. Hi, buddy. Dad says you're trying to hurt our family, but that's not true, right? You're coming to my game tomorrow? In the background, I hear Ryan's voice. That's enough, Nate. Give me the phone. The line goes dead. Oliver watches me sink onto the couch. They're using him against me, I whisper. They're desperate. The fraud charges. Maybe I should drop them. The words taste bitter. For Nate's sake. And let them win? After everything? I gesture at the elaborate suite, the untouched dinner. Look at me, Oliver. Hiding in the same hotel where this all started, eating alone on my birthday. Some victory. Brielle, another knock interrupts us. This time it's the hotel manager, looking uncomfortable. Mrs. Carter, there's a situation in the lobby. Your husband and his family are demanding to see you. They're causing quite a scene. I follow him to the security monitors. There they are, Ryan, Lindsay, and several Carter cousins, all wearing party hats and carrying gifts. A grotesque parody of a birthday celebration. They're saying you destroyed their family, the manager explains, that you're mentally unstable from your childhood trauma. My hands shake. How did they? Your mother-in-law's lawyer released your foster care records to the press an hour ago. Oliver shows me his phone. The story's already trending locally. They're painting you as a damaged orphan, taking revenge on the family that tried to help you. The room spins. Years of carefully built walls, of protecting my past, crumbling in minutes. Mrs. Carter? The manager shifts nervously. Should we call the police? Through the monitor, I watch Ryan charm the front desk staff, see Lindsay cry prettily for the gathering crowd. They're playing their roles perfectly. The concerned family, trying to help their troubled relative. No, I say finally. No police. Brielle, Oliver warns, don't let them manipulate you. But I'm already walking to the elevator. In my reflection, I see my mother's stubborn chin, her straight spine. The strength that helped her survive until cancer took her, leaving me alone at 12. What are you doing? Oliver follows me. Finishing this. My way. The elevator doors open to the lobby. My husband and his family wait with their audience, their gifts, their practiced concerned expressions. Ready to play out their drama, to cast me as the villain or the victim, whichever serves them better. But they've forgotten something crucial. I learned long ago in those foster homes. Sometimes the only way to win is to change the game entirely. I step out of the elevator, my mother's final lesson echoing in my mind. Sometimes, baby, you have to burn it all down to build something true. The hotel lobby falls silent as I approach. Ryan steps forward, arms outstretched, playing the concerned husband for his growing audience. Bree, sweetheart, we're all here to help. Like you helped yourself to my company's credit line? My voice carries across the marble floor. Or like your mother helped herself to a second mortgage on my house? Lindsay clutches her pearls. The ones I bought her last Christmas. You're making a scene. No. I turn to address the watching crowd. A scene is what your mother made at the country club, telling everyone she built my company. A scene is what you made at the bank, trying to access my accounts with forged documents. That's enough. Ryan grabs my arm. You're having another episode. I wrench away from him. Touch me again, and I'll add assault to the charges. Oliver steps between us, but I wave him back. The crowd has grown, phones recording everything. Perfect. You want to talk about my past? I project my voice, letting it fill the space. Let's talk about it. Yes, I was orphaned at 12. Yes, I went through foster care. And yes, I built a multi-million-dollar company from nothing. Murmurs ripple through the audience. Ryan's cousins shift uncomfortably. What they won't tell you, I continue, is how they used that company's success. How they drained its resources while mocking its founder. How they planned vacations with my money while excluding me from them. That's not true, Lindsay shrieks. We loved you. Really? I pull out my phone. Should I play the recording from this lobby 3 weeks ago, Where you all laughed about keeping me away? Or should I show the bank statements proving where my money really went? Ryan pales. Bree, please. Think about Mom. Your mother thought about herself plenty when she forged my signature, when she planned to destroy my reputation with my childhood records. A new voice cuts through the tension. Is that true, Dad? Nate pushes through the crowd, his baseball uniform dusty from practice. His eyes are wide, questioning. Nate, go wait in the car. Lindsay starts. No? He stands his ground. Is that why Grandma's in jail? Because she stole from Aunt Brielle? The silence is deafening. Ryan looks between his nephew and me, trapped in his own web of lies. They didn't just steal money, Nate. My voice softens. They stole trust. They stole family. We are your family, Ryan explodes. Everything we did because you needed us. You were alone, damaged. I was never damaged. I step closer, meeting his eyes. I was strong enough to survive loss, to build something from nothing. The only damage here is what you did to cover your own inadequacies. Lindsay lunges forward, hand raised to slap me, but Oliver catches her wrist. The crowd gasps. It's over, I announce, loud enough for everyone to hear. The fraud charges stand, the divorce proceeds, and this, I gesture to their gathering, their gifts, their performance. This ends now. You'll regret this, Ryan warns, when everyone knows your story. My story? I laugh, and it feels like freedom. My story is that I survived. I succeeded. And now I'm strong enough to walk away from people who never deserved me. I turn to Nate, who watches with tears in his eyes. Your baseball game tomorrow. I'll be there. Front row. Some promises are worth keeping. Then I face the crowd. These strangers who came for drama, but will leave with truth. The rest of you can read all about it in tomorrow's papers. My lawyer has quite a story to tell. As security finally arrives to escort the Carter family out, Ryan makes one last attempt. Everything I did was for love. No? I watch them go, my voice steady. Everything you did was for money. Everything I did was for love. That's the difference. The lobby slowly empties, leaving me with Oliver and the echoes of confrontation. My hands shake, but my spine is straight. You okay? Oliver asks. I look at my reflection in the marble floors, no longer fragmented, no longer hiding. I'm free. The baseball field buzzes with weekend energy as I find my seat in the front row. Parents clutch coffee cups and cheer cards, unaware or uncaring of yesterday's hotel drama. Social media moves fast. Today's scandals have already buried yesterday's viral videos. Nate spots me from the dugout and waves. I wave back, ignoring Lindsay's rigid posture 3 rows behind me. The divorce papers were signed this morning, their weight still fresh in my hands. Ryan didn't show up. Bold choice, Oliver says, settling beside me with hot chocolates. Coming here after everything. Some promises matter more than revenge. Nate steps up to bat, his stance perfect. We practiced for hours in my backyard last summer. The pitch comes fast, but he's ready. The crack of bat meeting ball echoes across the field. As he runs, something falls from his pocket. Later, when the crowd disperses and his team celebrates their victory, I find it near home plate, a folded piece of paper with my name. He wanted you to have that, Lindsay says, appearing beside me. She looks different, smaller somehow, without her designer clothes and perfect makeup. He wrote it the night Mom was arrested. I unfold the paper carefully, in a child's careful handwriting. Dear Aunt Brielle, thank you for teaching me that family isn't about money. Mom says we can't be family anymore, but she also said lying was okay sometimes, so I don't believe her. Can you still teach me to make pictures with thread? Love, Nate. Beneath his words, he's drawn us at my embroidery table, surrounded by colored threads and possibility. He misses your lessons, Lindsay says quietly. I miss him. She twists her wedding ring, the one her husband pawned last month. Everything's falling apart. Mom's facing jail time, Ryan's drinking, my marriage. She trails off. I don't know how to fix any of it. Maybe some things aren't meant to be fixed. Maybe they're meant to be rebuilt. She meets my eyes for the first time since the hotel. I'm sorry, not just for the money or the lies, for forgetting who you really were, beneath all the things we wanted from you. I touch my mother's embroidery hoop, always in my bag now. You know what my mom used to say about embroidery? The back of the pattern shows the truth, all the knots and tangles that create the beautiful image on top. You can't have one without the other. Nate runs over, still in his baseball uniform. Did you see my hit? Wouldn't have missed it for anything, buddy. He eyes his mother nervously. Can I still come over sometimes? Before Lindsay can answer, I pull out my mother's hoop and some bright threads. Actually, I'm starting an embroidery class at the community center. Saturdays at 10. All ages welcome. His face lights up. Mom? Please? Lindsay looks between us, something shifting in her expression. Maybe we both could come. If that's okay? I hand her the hoop, watching her fingers trace the unfinished pattern my mother left behind. Some patterns are worth starting over. Later, driving home, Oliver asks, was that revenge or forgiveness back there? I think about Nate's letter, about Lindsay's humility, about the way patterns emerge from chaos, one stitch at a time. Neither, both. Maybe they're just different threads in the same design. At home, I find a package on my doorstep, my old foster care files, returned by Marilyn's lawyer with a note. She wants you to know she's sorry. I don't open them. Instead, I start a new pattern on my mother's hoop. Something original, with space for mistakes and beautiful imperfections. Room for new threads to join the old. The phone rings, my company's board, probably wanting statements about yesterday's revelations. It can wait. Right now, I have a pattern to begin, and this time, I'm choosing every thread myself. Through my window, the setting sun catches on my embroidery needles, throwing patterns of light across the walls. They look like possibilities,